Welcome to Mysteries, Myths, and Legends. I'm Taylor.
I'm Savannah.
And happy November, everybody.
Happy November. We're moving out of spooky season.
No. Wrong.
It's always spooky season.
It is always spooky season around here. Yeah. Hear me out.
What?
I purchased, so if you go to the stores right now, like all the Halloween stuff is marked down, which we love a clearance already. And so it's only going to get more and more and more. So keep checking the stores, guys, because what did I find the other day but a inflatable, like 3.5 foot tall Scooby-Doo dressed up as a bat.
Oh my god.
And now he sits in front of my house with Stefan and a pumpkin. My mom. And we have an inflatable ghost in my laundry room.
You did send me a picture of that. That's so fun.
Isn't he so cute? Yeah. And then and it was like $18.
Okay.
And it was like regular $60.
Yeah. That's a deal.
And we also got one of our friends an inflatable Chucky with a knife.
Oh my god.
And it was only like $10. And I was like, wow. We love a good deal, guys.
Yes,
love a sale. Yeah, but speaking of Halloween, I also went to a concert last night, and I dressed up in my Halloween costume.
Yeah.
And because as we're recording this, little bag. But I am sitting here stained red.
Yeah.
Very stained. You can't tell, like, in darker lighting, but if you're in, like, a fluorescent... I went in my basement, which has fluorescent lights in it. And guys, I look like an actual axe murderer because I was Pearl, who is in fact an axe murderer.
Yeah.
But like going to that concert, I had blood all over me, police everywhere. And they're just like looking at me.
Oh my god, really?
I was like, it's fake. It's fake.
No, you can definitely, I can tell you're stained.
No, you can definitely see it. You can definitely see it. It does kind of look like a sunburn. But it's fine. It's fine. We'll get it off somehow, some way.
Yeah, it's all good.
Hopefully. Funny. But in other news, I'm going to see Billie Eilish this weekend, and I'm so excited.
I'm excited for you.
If you know me, Billie Eilish is one of my favorite artists of all time. Probably the.
Yeah.
Period. Capital THE.
And especially since what you told me the other day about your seats.
Yeah, I think I accidentally somehow got box tickets. I guess we're really going to see after I go. What if we go and it's just like a regular seat?
Yeah.
I don't know. My ticket has said something like I've never seen. And I'm a very avid concert goer.
Did you not click a certain section in the...
I did. I just...
thing? Oh.
It didn't say anything specific when I clicked it.
Oh.
It was just like seat whatever number. And I was like, okay. That's fine. And then when I got the tickets in the wallet, it was like, you're a part of this club. And I was like, the club?
Oh, wow.
And I Googled the club and I was like, oh. Allegedly, they have food and drinks that's on the house.
Okay.
And like the seat could be a couch with chargers.
Okay, what if it's just you do have normal seats, but you get to go into the club area?
But it specifically said the best part about this section was the seats are not seats, that they're couches.
Oh.
And that there's a table in between the seats so you can eat your food and drink while you're sitting.
Okay.
I don't know what to expect. I've never had this happen before, and I've been to a million concerts, so I guess update next week.
If it's a room, you'll have room to dance around.
I hope, I really, really hope that I have room to dance, because that's all I ever want to do at a concert, and normally we're in the nosebleeds for a big concert like that. And there's no dancing because Taylor will fall down the stairs.
Yeah.
Or Savannah will kick over a kid's cheer wine.
Oh my god, yeah. And I did actually. I felt fallen down too before.
Me too. Oh, me too. I fallen up.
When we went to Harry Styles.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god.
You weren't sitting with me, but I think I already told the podcast this.
Yeah, but it was years ago.
Yeah. I fell on the people in front of me.
Oh my god!
Those seats are so steep,
guys.
It's
nosebleeds. They really do be making you nosebleed. That we're up in the different altitude levels.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess update on that next week if you want to hear how the experience goes.
Oh, we need to know. We need to know.
Yeah, we will. in fact, see, but that is actually going to conclude my personal concert tour for 2024, which it's, I love concerts, but this year was definitely the most I've ever been to in my life.
You had a lot.
Well, everybody I wanted to see went on tour. That's not my fault.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not my fault. So, sorry. Sorry about it. But, yeah, what's been going on with you?
Yeah. Not just a lot. I did go vote today.
Nice. I also voted early.
I went to vote. By the time this episode comes out, voting in the United States voting is over.
Yep.
But
we probably won't know. We currently do not know the results, but
yeah.
And we probably won't even know when this episode comes out, but it is over. But I hope everybody went and voted. We probably should have said that last time, but sometimes it's hard when we record in advance to realize,
Yeah.
But we did our civic duty and voted. As we should. As we should. Yeah. But please, if you don't mind, go rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And check out our YouTube and our TikTok. And this time, we promise the Mothman vlog is coming.
Yeah, I'm really sorry.
It's honestly...
it's been a lot. All right.
Life's been crazy. Yeah, life's been crazy. It's also my fault.
Yeah, we're just trying to... We will have it out, okay?
It is coming. It will be on its way very soon.
Yes.
It's like out for delivery, but it's not arrived yet. You feel me?
Yeah. But even, I'm just going to say, go and check right now.
Because I'm going to say it probably will be up.
Yeah.
I'm motivating us to have it up by when this comes out.
Yeah. Okay.
Check our YouTube and then go watch the video, obviously, because it's a good one. But other than that, do you want to get into your story this week, Savannah?
Yes, I will. So this week, I'm going to be talking about Fort Delaware.
Oh, is it in, let me guess, Delaware? The United States of America?
It's in Delaware. And I kept thinking that I had already covered this, but I guess I haven't because it's not on our list. So
the faith that we have in that list.
So Fort Delaware is now Fort Delaware State Park, and it's on Pea Patch Island.
Who named it? Wait, P-E-E? P-E-A? Okay, sorry,
Pea
I didn't
Patch.
mean to laugh. Pea Patch. Just a little funny.
Pea Patch Island, and it's in the middle of the Delaware River.
Okay.
So it's like an island in the river, and you can take a ferry to get there. So the fort was built in the 19th century in 1859 to protect the ports of Wilmington, Delaware, and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Nice.
And it served as a prison camp for Confederate prisoners during the Civil War.
Ooh.
There were almost 13,000 prisoners held at one time.
Oh my God.
At the peak, yeah. Very cramped conditions when there were so many people. And over the total course of the Civil War, there were 33,000 total people.
Oh my God. Overcapacity times 10 for real.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Just in general.
Yeah, exactly. And out of those 33,000, 2,500 died at the fort, unfortunately.
Yikes, that's a lot.
Brings ghosties into it.
Yeah, I was going to say, Sounds like this place couldn't possibly not be haunted.
Exactly. So many of the prisoners are now buried at Finns Point National Cemetery, which is across the river in New Jersey. Because, right at this point of where this island is, it's Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, all right there.
Yeah.
So
I know exactly the area you're talking about.
Yeah. So, there's a cemetery over there. And the fort was abandoned at the end of World War II, and it became a state park in 1951. So, let's get into the haunted parts of this. So the kitchen is a very, like, a big hot spot here. Actually, you know what? Let me take a step back, because I was about to say, I said hot spot, but there actually are cold spots.
Oh.
So
it's a hot spot for the cold spots.
Exactly, yeah. So there are some cold spots here, around the stove, actually.
That is not normal.
Right. And it's said to be the spirit of an enslaved woman who served as a cook.
Oh, yeah. I bet.
And kitchen utensils and other tools in the area often are moved around. So they say that is the cook as well, just like moving stuff around.
Yeah, they're like, can you please put my silverware back where it goes?
Exactly. Or like, trying to make a meal here.
Right.
The mess hall. There is an officer's portrait that hangs there, and they say if you stare at it long enough, it turns into a skull.
What? Okay,
Yeah.
I want to see that.
So your eyes kind of play tricks on you.
That's cool.
Or it just, it's the ghosts coming out.
Yeah, one of the two for sure.
Yeah. So another big haunted area is the parade grounds.
What the heck is that?
It's just like, I guess, an outside area.
Oh, I thought you meant they literally had parades.
I mean, maybe not like parade.
Like how we have it.
Yeah, I'm trying to
like
think.
not a fun
there are
parade.
like army bands.
You're right.
So I
you're
don't
right.
know.
They actually are. Yeah. Okay. You're right. They maybe did have parades.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. They call them parade grounds, but in that area, there are Confederate spirits that roam there, and they're trying to escape. Yeah. There is, like, one of the most popular stories comes from this area, and it's sad.
No.
So it's the attempted escape of a 9-year-old drummer boy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Why was he there?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
did they used to make the children? Oh, that's
I guess so. And he was like a drummer for the Confederate Army.
Yeah. Oh, a soldier.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought you said drummer.
No, I did.
Oh, for the band?
Drummer, yeah. But he was in the army still.
That's so sad. 9?
Yeah.
And he was
I didn't even realize
trying to get out.
Yeah, like, I didn't even realize that there were, like, children involved in the Civil War.
No.
But, like, I did a quick Google search, and, like, yeah, there were.
Oh, my God. That's awful, because that's, like, just real-life Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That just sickened me. How did we not know that before
and
now?
It's like, yeah, like, if your dad's going to war, and you're like, oh, I'm going to go with him. But it's like, he's a little kid.
What?
Like,
are
how
you
are
kidding
you
me?
Gonna, like...
The dad's like, yeah, son, let's go to war.
I'm guessing that's how it went.
Oh my God,
how else would it have gone? Like,
well, I don't know if the government forced them. If they were like all boys,
okay,
all men.
What government? They're trying to break
away
right. From the
you're
government.
Right. I forget. Wait, hold on, I forgot what year we're.
Civil War.
I forgot this is the Civil War. That's crazy.
Okay, if you don't know, the Civil War.
I just forgot that was the time period we were in.
Basically the Confederate Army, where was the Confederate states were trying to break away and start their own country. So
in the United States, yes.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, I forgot that's where we were in time. That is crazy, though.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I could not imagine ever thinking that. I'm not a parent, but I definitely would never think that if I was. So. Anyway, continuing on with this little boy.
So he actually tried to fake his own death. This is how he tried to escape. He tried to fake his own death, and he was actually transported across the river in a coffin.
Oh my God. No.
And on the other side of the river, he had like made a deal with people. They were either Union troops that were like being nice to him, or possibly like fellow inmates that were going to help him. Either way, like, he had talked to them. He's like, hey guys, like, this is the plan, just help me out when we get back over there. And unfortunately, there was like a shift change.
No.
So
the wrong people
were there, and he was not freed. Instead, he was buried alive.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Stop, because I kind of thought you were going to say that, but I really didn't want you to say that.
Yeah.
Oh, his plan.
Yeah.
No.
So now they say that he haunts the area.
But you know what honestly makes it worse?
Huh.
Is that you have to think at some point in time, he did know that he was being buried alive.
I know.
And he could have chose to scream and like ask them for help.
Right, like what if he did and they just didn't hear or something?
True. Or what if he didn't because he didn't want to go back?
Yeah.
That is so depressing. Wow.
Yeah.
That's awful. So his ghost is there?
Mm-hmm.
What's he do?
There's not much about that. Like, I'm guessing he's just like playing around.
Yeah.
Having fun.
That's so sad.
Maybe
oh my
he's
goodness.
drumming on his little drum.
I hope he's drumming. On his little drum.
And this might make you feel better that there's no real historical evidence that this happened, but it is a story that is told.
I really hope it didn't happen.
So maybe someone just made it up, or it did happen and there's not that much evidence.
Yeah, I mean, it was a civil war. I don't really know if there's a lot of evidence.
True, yeah.
From back then, but...
Yeah. Yeah.
God, way to rip my heart out, Savannah. Goodness.
Okay, moving on to the next ghost. There's the spirit of Confederate Brigadier General James Archer. He is seen as a bearded man dressed in a gray uniform. And he's seen moving around the powder magazine and dungeon area. The dungeon. Dun,
Dun, dun, dun.
And he was actually taken prisoner and got to Fort Delaware very sick. So he was put into the dungeon, and he was also put into the dungeon as punishment for organizing a prisoner uprising.
Anarchist.
So yeah, he did like mixing these two together, right? Like he's already very sick, but then he's like, let me like, overthrow. And then he's put in a dungeon. So all that happens. He unfortunately dies a few months later because he's sick and he's imprisoned. So after, and he actually was part of a prisoner exchange as well.
Oh,
so he was freed, but then like still died because of being in the jail. Sick that long. And honestly, I feel like back in the day when this was happening, people died of like illnesses that we could survive now.
Definitely.
But just because like we have like medicine, and also like I don't even take medicine a lot of the time, but it's just like I don't know if it's
like safety or like what?
I don't know if it's like air conditioning or like
You're right. I feel like also like OSHA definitely didn't exist. Like and just like safety. Honestly, like immunizations, but also safety like within like building houses. Like we can't use lead paint. All that, you know.
Like, do you ever think about that stuff? It's like, oh, he died of a cold. And it's like, dang, like that stuff used to really actually kill people.
Like, that's why I know I personally was born in the right time. Because, honey, I would have been dead. Because if y'all know me, I'm sick all the time. Yeah. Always sick. Yeah. So, if I was then back then, wouldn't have made it past probably 3. So.
Yeah. I know. We just gotta take a second to be grateful for modern
technology sometimes.
Yeah. So anyway, this guy, he haunts the dungeon area that he was held. He's just in there, hanging out. Also, some of the staircases are said to have spirits that will touch your arms and your back, and they'll make noises, including like footsteps and yelling. So,
Yeah. They're just trying to scare people. I would do it too.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe it's just like residual.
Yeah, maybe. That's sad. I don't want to think about that though.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say they're trying to have fun and scare people.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, yeah, like if you're haunting the place that you were imprisoned and died, like, you might as well have some fun.
Yeah, for real. For real.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this place is the most haunted. Like they say it's the most haunted place in Delaware.
Delaware is a small place, so I will believe them on this one.
You're right.
This time, I will say I agree.
Yeah. You know, they always try to say that, don't they?
I know, but this time...
It's the most haunted place in the state.
But this time I believe it because Delaware's so small.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go to this fort.
Yeah, well, there are tours. So the Diamond State Ghost Investigators lead tours in the fall.
It's fall.
And this place, it was on Ghost Hunters.
Ghost Hunters.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to watch it still.
Yeah.
Because, okay, first of all, I love going to a fort. In my personal opinion, all forts are haunted because all forts have had, well, I guess there may be some forts that didn't have battles, but most had battles or prisons or both, or just deaths in general. So most forts are haunted, and every fort I've ever been to given me horrendous vibes. Yeah. Like, it's just heavy. So I can't imagine walking into this place. That place seems like a very active fort for the ghosties.
Yeah, and I feel like there's more stories out there about the ghosts.
I bet they'd tell you on the tour.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think they're trying to get
people to come.
They're trying to keep some secrets, so then you hear it only on the tour.
Yeah, I definitely
trying to dig deeper.
I mean, they have to, because then if we could tell the full story, then they wouldn't have business.
Exactly.
So we got to keep people going out there.
I did see one thing said that the tour is like 5 hours long.
Oh my God.
I don't know if that's true.
I kind of hope it is, because I kind of want to go to the dungeon.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Well, Delaware, we might see you soon.
I actually love Delaware.
I've never been to Delaware.
I used to go there like every summer.
I don't really even know what's in Delaware other than Wilmington, but it's not North Carolina, Wilmington.
Yeah. Delaware is just like the sales tax is lower.
Oh, period. Okay, then so we need to go shopping.
I remember when I lived in Philadelphia, like in that area, we would always drive to Delaware.
That's really smart.
Because things were like cheaper. Less tax.
Yeah.
Like if my parents were gonna buy something like big, we'd go to Delaware. And also really they would always go to the wine and spirits there because in Pennsylvania there's not really any of those stores. Yep. It's the alcohol laws are different, or at least they used to be. I think they've changed, but they used to be different, so we would always go over there to go to wine and spirits.
Love that.
And yeah, there's also whenever we would take those trips over, we would go to this Mexican restaurant, and it was honestly like the only time we would ever go to a Mexican restaurant, and it was called La Tolteca, and I would always get a taco salad.
Period.
So anyway,
that's hilarious. Wait, have you ever been to the Delaware Fort though?
No, I don't think so.
I was just curious.
My mom's gonna listen to this and be like,
Savannah, you've been 27 times. No, I just was about to say
I know, yeah. Like, I don't 100% remember that, but like maybe.
I'm weak at that. Well, that was very interesting. Yeah. I am still shook by that story of that boy. I hope it's not true, because
it just shook me that like children were involved.
I cannot.
Wars.
My brain.
And it's like they still kind of like. I bet they still are in like
No, you have to be 18, right? Yeah.
Well, for our.
For our. Yeah.
Army, but like.
No, for other countries in the world, children definitely do serve still today.
You think so, or so?
I believe I'm gonna say a good 60% sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh, that's really crazy. But yeah. Anyway, I guess transitioning. Do I know how? Absolutely not. Because, honestly, our stories have been really different from each other recently.
Yeah, I know. We like go back and forth between like
Yeah.
they'll be really similar,
Like exactly
really
the same
different.
or very different. But these, try to find a connection. I dare you. Maybe.
Okay.
Today, I have the legend of the Cash Landrum incident.
Oh.
Da da da. What is it, you may ask?
Yeah, like what? Does it have to do with a bank? I mean, I'm thinking of cash.
So Cash Landrum, their names.
Okay.
Last names. And the story I have for you today is a story of an alien.
Oh,
we love an alien. Exactly what you were for Halloween, Savannah. That's what inspired me to pick the alien story.
Oh, okay.
It really was. So there's not really any setup to the story, so why don't we just jump right on it and hear about what's going on with these little aliens?
Yeah. Okay.
It was the evening of December 29th, 1980, so 44 years ago. Betty Cash was a 50-year-old woman. Vicki Landrum was 57, and her grandson, Colby Landrum, who was 7 at the time, they were all driving home together to Dayton, Texas. So we're in Texas for this story, yeehaw. And Betty Cash was driving the squad, and they had after they had went somewhere to go just get some food, and so they were just driving back home. And as they're driving on this really dark, isolated 2-lane road with dense forest on both sides in the dark, they claimed to all see a light, like a hovering above the trees. And at first, they just completely assumed that this was an airplane because they were close to the Houston International Airport. So because they just assumed this was a plane, they were like, oh, a plane, cool. Kept driving.
Right. Yeah.
And then they just kept driving. But not even 5 minutes later, they, at this point, were driving down some really windy, twisty-turny roads. And they come out of the twisty-turviness, and they see the same light again in the sky.
Okay.
But this time, it appeared to be much closer to them and much, much, much brighter. And they were like, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't a plane.
I'm trying to picture what we would do in that situation.
Right. And so because it was so close to them this time, they got a better look at what they were looking at. So they report that this light was coming from this huge diamond-shaped object that was hovering at about treetop level, right above the trees.
Okay.
So they also claim that the base or the bottom of this diamond-shaped flying object was expelling flame and emitting a significant amount of heat. So that part is kind of giving rocket.
Yeah.
But the rocket is not shaped like a regular rocket. It's shaped kind of like a diamond, pointy.
Okay, a rocket, but also it's just staying
in one place, hovering still, but flying. And really bright. Really, really, really bright.
Interesting.
Yeah. So this was when Vicki Landrum, the passenger, told Betty, stop the car. That's what they did, which is probably what we would do. Because I would definitely want to at least get a look at it, take a video. I mean, it could, in our time, it just probably could be Elon Musk putting some stuff into space.
Some sort of drone.
But back in 1980, who knows? So she was like, yeah, stop the car. And she said, why? And she was like, well, I'm afraid that if we get any closer, we're going to catch on fire. Because apparently that's how hot they could feel the heat from the flames. So, yeah. And Vicki was actually a born-again Christian. So, this is important because she immediately decided and believed that this was her sign for the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Oh, my God.
Okay, and she turns back to her grandson, Colby, who's sitting in the back seat of the car, and she says, quote, that right there, grandson, is Jesus, and he will not hurt us.
Oh, my God.
Now listen, religious or not, I do personally not believe that Jesus will roll up in a diamond-shaped, on fire vehicle.
Right.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's just me. But I just kind of thought that was a little bit funny. Not making fun of Vicky. I'm not making fun of her, but just like the way that she said that was hilarious.
Like, I feel like she's just way too into. She's just way like into her Bible studies right now, and that's just all she can think about. So of course that's what she thought of first.
That, or she's like the only way her mind can rationalize this crazy thing happening, and she's like, okay, that has to be God, because what is that?
Yeah,
which I completely understand. That would be mind blowing to see.
I get where she's coming from, but also like. Yeah, it's also just crazy.
Like, I don't know. I don't personally know if that's Jesus. I'm just like, what does Colby think of that today? I would love to ask him.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Betty Cash was like, okay, I'm very anxious. She considered turning the car around and just kind of driving back in the other direction, maybe grabbing a hotel for the night. But because they were kind of still on these windy, curvy roads on this mountain, she didn't think that there was enough room, like where she was on the road, for her to turn the car around safely without falling off the mountain.
Yeah.
Because the road was so narrow.
Right.
So she said she definitely would have just turned around if, because there was a little bit of grass, but it had apparently torrentially rained the day before, and she had a really low to the ground car. And she was like, if I drive in that grass, my car will be stuck, and then we're absolutely screwed.
Yeah.
So she was like, I can't turn around. So instead, because they literally can't go forward because of the fire, can't go back because they can't turn around. I mean, she could have, I guess, reversed it, but think like windy up a mountain reverse. Honey, I can't even back into a parking spot. So
yeah.
What they had to do was stop the car and just get out and look at it.
Oh my God.
They were like, I mean, I guess if we're stuck here, we might as well just look and see what it's going to do.
I mean, I get that. Like, I would do that.
Yeah, same. So Vicky Landrum, she looked for a few minutes. They decided to leave Colby in the car just in case something dangerous happened, which is smart, I guess. So she looked for a couple minutes, but then she could hear Colby screaming in the car. So she went back to the car, and he was just screaming because he was scared, obviously.
Yeah.
Imagine seeing that as a 7-year-old.
Okay, but also, like, how long is this thing going to be hanging out in the sky?
Well,
because what?
You will see. It's been about 5 minutes. Well, it's been 5 minutes that they've been stuck there, but they also saw it before. So.
Oh, my God.
Anyway. So it's been a little bit of time at this point. So Vicky's back in the car trying to console Colby. Meanwhile, Betty Cash is standing there, essentially hypnotized by this thing in the sky. They describe this UFO as a huge, upright, standing diamond about the size of a water tower. Oh, no lie, wow. That's ginormous. Like, I'm picturing the UNCW water tower, which sits above the trees, and just, like, it's a bright light, but a diamond. Yeah. That is so wild. And then they said, periodically, every few minutes, flames would shoot out of the bottom of it, and then the flames would go out, and every time the flames would go out, the UFO would float a little bit down towards the road. But then as it keeps going down, that's when it would relight up, and it would go back up to where it was, above the tree. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's kind of like,
why is it doing that?
It's like sinking. Like, I guess it's trying to conserve fuel is my presumption.
Okay. Because,
like, if they're just leaving the fire, and also probably they don't want to burn the trees down because it's fire.
Literally land somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they were doing. I don't know. So Betty Cash is just watching this happen. She's like, okay, timing it, like how long it's taking for them to like go down and move up and all this stuff. Yeah. So they said the heat was so powerful that not only could they just obviously feel it as they stepped outside, but it also made their car too hot to touch from the outside. Wow. Okay. So when Betty Cash finally decides to get back in her car, she had to take the jacket off that she was wearing to be able to open the car door to get inside because it was literally, she couldn't open the car door. It was that hot.
Oh my God.
So that's how close this thing was to them, which is crazy. And then not only was it that hot, it gets worse. They get inside the car and Vicky just like grabbed the like dashboard real quick. Yeah. And it was so hot that it literally melted a handprint as if it was a memory foam mattress, like into the dashboard, because the car itself was melting because that's how hot it was.
Oh my God. This whole situation is like, what is happening?
I know. And here's crazy enough. There actually is photo evidence, and I didn't take it. I'll show you after. There's photo evidence of the handprint in the dash. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that is absolutely crazy. Like,
wait, you're reminding me of this theory I heard recently about aliens. Mm-hmm. Do you want me to?
Yeah. Okay. Tell me.
So, you know how like on Earth there are tribes that have been like that aren't a part of like our normal society. Like they're kind of cut off to the rest of the world, doing their own thing. Yeah. There's like a theory that, Earth is like one of those tribes, but to the rest of the other planets and stuff.
Like we are the uncolonized or like
I don't know the word.
Yeah, it's not.
But like untouched. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Like they're just, they've never. Yeah, and
like we don't make contact with the outside world.
Yes, uncontacted, I guess. I don't know. Like we don't contact those tribes because, we're like, okay, they're doing their own thing.
Yeah, we respect whatever they're doing, yeah.
And that's what people are like, well, maybe aliens are doing that to us. And the fact that we, like, have flown drones over some of these, and that's how we know they're there.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe that's what aliens do, like, from other planets.
Yeah, they're just flying their drones.
Yeah, so they know that we're here, but they don't necessarily want to disturb us.
Listen, that's a good theory.
Either because of danger to them, they think we're a danger, because, like, that's why
a lot aliens, of the tribes, if you're listening, we are a danger to you. Stay away.
I mean, true. So yeah, I mean,
listen, that's a crazy theory, and I like that theory.
Yeah, like they're out there and they know we're here, but they're like, we're just gonna keep them, let them do their own thing, because like it's probably for the best to just not.
Yeah, I agree.
Because that's what we do to like uncontacted tribes. Like, like we know they're there, have seen. Yeah,
that's so wow. Love that. Wait, where did you hear of that theory? TikTok?
Yeah, TikTok.
Our most reliable source here. No, I really do love TikTok. You learn a lot of different perspectives on there.
Yeah.
New ones. Love it. Okay, so, anywho, going back to this little incident here. So as I said, they're back in the car now, even though it's very hot.
Yes.
The second they get back in the car, they said the UFO starts ascending into the sky, going up.
Okay.
Starts just going up, like to almost where like an airplane would be flying at this point. So it was like right in front of them, like a water tower. Yeah. And then it elevates itself to where an airplane is. Just straight up, though. Like, makes no sense. And then this is where you're not gonna believe. Like, this is crazy. Okay. So it's going up. It's up there really high.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're still watching because they're like, well, we're trying to see what this thing is doing.
Yeah.
And at this point is when Betty and Vicky, Cash and Landrum, both counted 23 helicopters swarm this thing. Swarm it around all sides.
That came out of nowhere. I did not expect the helicopters.
I told you weren't going to expect it. And they were able to tell that these were military because it said U.S. Air Force on the side of them.
Oh my God.
So.
Wait, so what the hell is that?
That's the question.
Is it alien or is it from another country and they were scared about it being from another country?
Listen. Oh my God. Listen, I don't know. So since this object was out of the way and clearly it appeared to them, the military's taking care of it. Like, we have done what we can.
Right.
Right. They were like, okay. At this point, also, the car had cooled off a little bit since it had floated up. The fire wasn't as close to it. Mm-hmm. And so they decided they're going to keep driving. They said, we got to go home. And
yeah. We're going home.
Yeah. So as they're driving away, they're still watching this thing from the sky in their rearview mirror, and it's the whole time surrounded by the helicopters until they can't see it anymore. So from start to go ahead.
I'm surprised that the helicopters didn't try to get them, and they're like, we need to talk to you because you saw this thing.
Well, there's a lot more here to the story, Savannah. I'll tell you that right now. So, yeah. Where was I at? Okay. From start to finish, they said that the encounter was about 20 to 25 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Which is honestly very long compared to the other alien stories that we hear. I mean, sometimes they last longer, but they don't remember it all, you know?
True.
This one, they weren't abducted or anything, but they remember what happened. Like nothing, which is crazy. But the only problem was they were not exactly sure of their precise location of where they were. And I can't blame them because I also never know where I am. And this was in the 1980s. So they do not have Google Maps.
Yeah, they can't just place a pin.
Oh, no. They can't drop no pin. No pins were dropped there. So they were like, yeah, we don't know exactly. Because obviously they were like, we have to report this once we get back home. Yeah. But the problem is we don't know exactly where we were. We can, try to redrive it. But
they're like, we need to get out of here.
Like, exactly. They were like, we're not staying. Sorry. So those involved, as well as their families, they all corroborate that Betty Cash took the Landrums home and then went to her house and went to bed for the rest of the night at her own house. And so, just to be clear, Betty Cash and Vicky and Colby Landrum, they were not sleeping in the same house that night of this event, right?
Yeah, okay.
Just making sure. But the reason I say that is because that night, all three of them reportedly experienced similar symptoms. Very nauseous, vomiting, diarrhea, generalized weakness, a burning sensation in their eyes, and feeling as though they were suffering from a sunburn.
Oh my God, wait. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That sounds like sun poisoning, basically.
Yeah, literally. And Betty Cash's injuries seem to be much harsher than the Landrums, in my personal opinion. Think about where the Landrums were for the long period of time in the car while Betty was outside watching it. While she was close. So she was closer to it, more exposed. So
it was giving off some radiation, definitely.
For sure. And over the next few days after that, Betty Cash's symptoms only worsened. Many painful, huge blisters started forming on her skin.
Oh my God, wait.
Which is literally radiation.
Yeah.
On January 3rd, 1981, just a few days, I think I can't do math, a few days after the incident, she finally had enough and decided it was time to go to the emergency room. Mm-hmm. The doctors wrote that she could not walk anymore. Mm-hmm. She lost large patches of skin, clumps of hair, as well as other issues that were already going on, like everything else was still happening that I had already mentioned, plus all this other stuff. They held her in the ER for 12 days, but even after all of that time, her condition never got better. So she was like, okay, well, if I'm not getting better in the hospital, I might as well at least be miserable in my own house. So she decides to go home. And she was home for maybe a couple hours before she was immediately returned to the hospital because she was in so much pain. So at least they could give her like pain medicine, I guess, at the hospital. So she went again, and this time she was there for 15 days. So at this point, it's like a whole entire month.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because it was 12 days the first time, and then 15 days.
Damn.
And when she came in the second time for the 15 days, she had extreme hair loss, like almost all of it gone. Due to the original burns and now the hair loss, the doctors finally came to the conclusion that she was experiencing side effects of radiation. Mm-hmm. So then, using this knowledge, they start treating her for radiation sickness and later cancer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Did it improve after they started treating her for radiation?
Okay. Yeah. Yep. The Landrums, Vicky and Colby, their health was somewhat better, but definitely not as bad as Betty, obviously. But they still experienced lingering weakness, skin sores, and hair loss, just like Betty, just not as bad. But then In April of 1981, 4 months later, Vicky developed a sudden cataract in one eye, which they were like, we never saw signs of that coming. We never, never knew. And then at the exact same time that Vicky developed the cataract, Betty got diagnosed with breast cancer, a different kind of cancer. So this is a second cancer. Yeah, so doctors were able to confirm that none of these health issues were present prior to the UFO incident. So that is very important to keep in mind because they were actively going to the doctor.
Right. For
checkups. And they were like, yeah, none of this was on our radar whatsoever before this happened. So now, of course, we have some skeptics out there who don't believe that this was actually, caused by the UFO.
I don't know how you can't believe it.
I'm sorry, guys.
Crazy.
This story is, I say this maybe a lot of times, but this one, it really feels real. Now, whether or not it was aliens, who's to say? It could have been the government, could have been another country. But regardless, that was radiation coming out of that thing.
Yeah.
So, chemical.
Yeah. Radiation is scary too because you
Horrifying.
Can't see it.
No. But the thing is, they could feel it and they just didn't know.
Yeah, true.
And it's the 1980s. Like, if we felt that today, we would know that we need to get out of there. If we're burning, I feel like we would, okay, maybe let's go. But maybe back then, I don't think it was nearly as known as it is today.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. But anyway, so we do have some skeptics. Crazy. Some think their explanation as to why they are skeptic is that they think, okay, this is I had to really dumb it down for even myself because they provided a very scientific answer.
Okay.
But basically, they came to the conclusion that these symptoms could have been caused by radiation, but could have also been caused by chemical contamination, presumably from an aerosol that was sold at the time. But all I have to say is these ladies are probably using the same aerosol. Mm-hmm. They probably didn't just buy a new brand, both get the same brand. Right. And also we would see a lot more evidence of other people experiencing this if that was the case, you know? So I feel like maybe.
And I feel like you're totally right because if a product like that was going to cause
this
effect, it would not be, I don't think the effects would be this strong without other people reporting it.
Exactly. Because that's extremely harsh effects. Yes. It's not people
this would have upset stomachs. Lawsuit.
Oh, honey. Yes, they would be rich today. For sure. So, you may be asking, okay, well, did anybody ever ask the military about their helicopters? Yeah. Because they did say that they said U.S. Air Force on them. Because, obviously something seemed up. So, yes, the Air Force was interviewed as a part of this investigation. And, yes, there was this huge investigation as to what that was. Because, obviously, they made their reports. And so people were going to find out. Okay, I just want to say, this is just the story. Allegedly, to all of what I'm about to say. Okay.
Okay.
And this is just my personal opinion.
Sounds like. Okay. Oh wait.
I'm just gonna say.
Let's just keep going.
Anyway, the U.S. Air Force stated, their statement was, they did not see an unidentified flying object that was a diamond shape. They said what they saw was a different shape. So they said, could it be the same thing they saw? I don't know.
On the same day, at the same time, at the same place.
Yes.
They're like, oh yeah, we saw something, but it doesn't look exactly like you were saying. So it's probably not the same thing.
Yep. So for a little bit, that was able to throw investigators off. But Cash and Landrum, honey, they were persistent. They said, we are not crazy. You are not telling us that we're crazy. So they knew what they experienced and they refused to give up. So they actually contacted U.S. Senators Lloyd Bentsen and John Tower, and they all went and brought a case to the Bergstrom Air Force Base, which is presumably where those helicopters came from based on the location of where they were.
Okay.
So the Air Force said that they would need to hire a lawyer and that their opinion was they needed to seek financial compensation if they wanted to win anything.
Yeah.
They were like, you're not going to get any answers. So the best thing you could do was ask for money.
I mean, fair. Like, yeah, if you're not going to get information, might as well get money.
But, like, for them to say that to them is wild, okay? Allegedly, but that's wild.
Yeah.
So, yeah, instead of seeking the truth, they just wanted to provide money, which is, I just want to say, interesting. Because of this.
Makes total sense because, yeah, you pay them off to not say anything else. Pay them off to not say
nothing, yep. Well, they were like, all right, fine, we'll hire. But they didn't have to because attorney Peter Gertston took on the case pro bono. And it was in the U.S. courts for several years. Mm-hmm. Cash and Landrum sued the U.S. federal government for $20 million.
Oh my God. Wait, $20 million in the 80s too.
Yes, $20 million in the 80s,
Damn.
honey. Testimonies from Cash and Landrum, as well as from people from NASA, the Air Force, the Army, and the Navy, were all provided during the trial. Unfortunately, because the U.S. Air Force testified that... I did forget to say this.
Okay,
I forgot.
Okay.
They said that they did see an unidentified flying object that day at that time, but it wasn't a diamond, remember? But they said, oh, no, we saw that, but we never sent helicopters up.
Okay.
I forgot that part. That's right. And they were like, well, no. And when it came time in the court trial, they said they did not operate any helicopters that day, and the judge believed them. And the case was dismissed on August 21st, 1986.
What?
And I'm like, babes, that judge was paid off, allegedly. That's Taylor's opinion, but that's my opinion. There's no way. Like, you don't even want to hear. They said we didn't do it. And he said, yes, gavel. Like, what? That's crazy. I'm sorry. That's so unfair.
It is.
It's so unfair. So basically, though, I think that gives me and probably everyone else the answer that I needed to hear. You know, like, why are they fighting this one so hard? If you could have just said, oh, yeah, that was one of ours. Guys, that could have solved it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not trying to tell you, how to lie to the people, but I'm just saying that would have maybe been like an easy way to go about it. But no, they didn't. They chose to fight and they won because obviously they are a whole entity against two women in the 80s. So, Yes. So, let's see. Moving forward into time. So that case was dismissed in August of 1986. So we're going to fast forward to December 29th, 1998. We were alive. It was, so December 29th, 1998 was exactly 18 years to the day of the anniversary of the sighting. And on that day, Betty Cash died at the age of 69. Which I really don't know if that's a coincidence. And if that is a coincidence, that's the craziest coincidence I've ever heard in my life.
It is.
It was of natural causes, or was it
I mean, natural causes.
Natural causes caused by the aliens.
Yeah, right. But yeah.
Like from lifelong effects of what the aliens did to her. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and also just like the fact that she died on the anniversary.
That's insane.
Is that, guys, I mean, I know that's a 1 in 365 day chance, I guess, for all of us to die on a crazy day, but that's wild. Anywho, Vicki Landrum died at the age of 93. She lived a long time.
Wow. Okay.
On September 12th, 2007. And I could not find anything about Colby Landrum, but I do have to presume that he's still alive because he was only 7 at the time. So Colby Landrum, if you are out there and listening and want to share your story, we would love to talk to you.
Yes.
I just wanted to throw that out there because maybe. And I really would love to talk to you. Like, if you remember, even if you don't remember, I want to know. Yeah. I just want to know. There are many documentaries out there on this. And in fact, this story was shown on the obviously famous Unsolved Mysteries I didn't even watch the episode, but I'm sure it's good. But one thing I do commend Cash and Landrum on is not really embellishing their story, but also I think it's really telling that they never claimed to like see any little green or gray men.
Yeah.
You know?
They just wanted to know what this thing was.
Exactly. And I also really find it very interesting that they really fought hard for their story and for like their truth to be heard, because they were like, we are not crazy. This was weird. Like, regardless of what it was, this is weird.
Right. So, it was weird, and it also is doing things to us.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, physically. Like, things happened to them. So, to me, I personally think this is one of the most believable stories I've ever told. In my opinion.
Yeah. No,
like, on this.
I think it's very believable.
Yeah, I really do. And so, of course, you have to think, what do the skeptics say about this today? Because, you know, now we have new technology and stuff.
Yes.
Well, I do have the answer. And scientists today go with the theory that basically Vicky and Betty had Munchausen's disease. Which, if you don't know, basically that is a disease where your mind kind of tricks you into having a physical illness. And usually it's to get sympathy or attention.
But she actually had these things, like doctors were diagnosing her with it.
She literally went through treatments to fight her cancer. The doctors weren't.
Right.
And like I know there are cases where doctors do treat people who, like, I know that it's theoretically possible, right? I will say this. I understand theoretically it's possible that their minds could have created this. It's happened before, but it's so rare. And I don't really know. I feel like the chances of both of them having it is really low. If it was just one of them, maybe.
I really don't think, like, if... I'm just trying to put myself in this situation. If I saw something crazy like that, my first thing wouldn't be, oh, like, this is going to make me sick. Like, obviously...
Right.
Like...
And they were sick immediately. And also, you have to think, like, they did try to sue them for $20 million, yes, but they told them to do that, A.
Yeah.
And B, they never tried to seek fame. Right. They were just trying to seek the truth and justice. Like, so I don't really think, because normally people with Munchausen's, they want something. Like, we think of, like, Gypsy Rose Blanchard's mom, like, she wanted the money and the sympathy from people. But, like, that's Munchausen by proxy. So that's not even the same thing. Like, it's just crazy. It's crazy that that's what people say. But, yeah. That is the legend / I guess mystery of the Cash Landrum incident.
Oh, my God. I just want to know what this thing was. Like, was it government testing?
Maybe. Maybe.
Like, what if they were test subjects because they're like, oh, this is our new war device? Like, what if it was a United States, like...
Yeah.
Item, not another country, and they were using it to test to see if they could use it in other countries or something.
I know.
Now I'm just, like, throwing stuff out there.
I know, like, wild theory. I know, because I'm like...
Wild theories, yeah.
Or, like, what if they were trying... This is, like, a really crazy theory, but I'm just going to say it because it's my theory. What if they were trying to create a device that would kill a bunch of people like that? Like, that would send out the radiation.
Exactly.
Like, oh my God.
To use it in war. But they're like, well, we're going to test it. But then they test it on real people.
Yeah. And I mean, they were kind of in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. They just happened to be driving down that isolated road that night.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I'm just saying it's not that far off because, I mean, have you guys seen Oppenheimer? That's literally the point.
Right.
They wanted to build a bomb to kill a bunch of people. So, I don't know. But I'm just saying it's suspicious and everything is alleged, but I'm just saying it's very suspect.
This one's gonna kill me. Like,
I know. I know. That's how I feel with every mystery. It's just ripping out my heart. But yeah, I know. I don't even think I have any more words to say. Doing that research, I was just so angry. Everything I was like, please get an answer. Please get an answer. No. Knocked down after every turn. But that, like, actually scares me because normally, like, I have personally seen UFOs in my life. Now, I'm not saying I've seen aliens. I'm just saying I saw unidentified flying objects in the sky that were not airplanes. So, and I have chased them before in my car. But I'm just thinking, like, if I did that and then stepped outside and like, this could easily happen to me. Like, I'm saying I fear I might be an easy target for this if I was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right, yeah.
So maybe I'll have to be more careful next time I see a UFO. And maybe you all should also be careful if you ever see something weird. Like, take a video of it, definitely, but like inside the car, you know? Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's the Cash Landrum incident. And it will haunt us for the rest of our days, I suppose.
No, seriously.
I know. But definitely go check out our Instagram to see pictures from our stories this week. I can't wait to see what that fort looks like. I love a good fort.
Yeah.
Love it. Speaking of my favorite fort in the world, I guess we can end with giving a little shout out to Fort Fisher. Fort Fisher is located really close to Wilmington, North Carolina, not Delaware, North Carolina. In Curry Beach, and they just opened their new visitor center. And it's very fancy, very nice. So,
is it by the rock?
It's right beside the rocks. Yep, it's like you can park.
Oh, is it? Didn't they used to have?
They did, but they knocked it down and they rebuilt a new one, and it's beautiful.
Okay.
It's beautiful. So,
love that.
So everybody should go check that out if you wanna. if you're local and wanna go see a fort. We have been there many times. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But other than that, I hope everyone has a marvelous start to November. But I don't really have anything else for you guys. What about you, Savannah?
I think that's it, yeah.
Okay, well, I guess we will see you guys next week.
Cue the music.